Okay, YouTube, so this one's about the 5 best rappers to appear on a DJ Khaled album. Obviously, with all the hype that's around him right now, this is kind of a big moment for him because this is the point. If this is going to be his peak, we need an album that's going to go with it that's going to show us that, okay, it's not just 1 or 2 hits per album. Now, I haven't really paid that much attention I haven't really paid that much attention to DJ Khaled albums that much. I've reviewed them, but I didn't own them at the time, so I just kind of skimmed through them. And the album that I own now is suffering from success, and I can tell by that one that some of the folks that I look forward to hearing are definitely different from some of the other stuff that goes on. So, I have Wikipedia up, and there's folks who've been on several of the albums. You get a lot of Birdman, a lot of Plies, a lot of Jeezy, a lot of Bun B, a lot of Big Sean, a lot of Fat Joe, but who winds up being your favorite? That's the thing we don't pay attention to. Who is the favorite of a DJ Khaled album? Especially that now we're going to start seeing Justin Bieber and Rihanna, Migos, Future more, some of these folks that are the it thing, the 2017, 2018 thing. Well, we need a list to tell us what the best moments are. So these are the 5 best rappers that I have seen to appear on a DJ Khaled album. These are the ones that I look forward to, that usually their verses work and the songs are pretty much ready to go for a night out or just having fun, something that's going to make you actually excited and, ready for what the day prepares for you. So obviously multiple rappers can do this. Sometimes lyricists do it. You can think, well, maybe Jadakiss would be one of these folks, or Fabulous, Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, Trick Daddy, but we're gonna see who exactly fits that bill. So one of which is Rick Ross. Now, obviously, you need to mess with this folk pretty quickly. I feel like in a lot of ways, Rick Ross may be underappreciated. Songs like No Games with Future on there, songs like I'm Not a Star, basically his whole Rich Forever mixtape, the songs he did with Meek Mill. He's done a lot of things that maybe, I assume that most of you have messed with some Rick Ross, but my a tip is to just not underestimate the value of a song from 3 or 4 years ago. So that happens to be the thing. There's a lot and a shit ton of music there's a shit ton of trunk music. This is obviously something that always fits the bill, and Rick Ross knows how to get you excited. It's pretty simple to see. And, obviously that brings me to number 2 best of the DJ Khaled rappers is Meek Mill. Now, he's the protege of Rick Ross. He's dropped a couple albums. He did the Dream Chaser series, but he doesn't really get that much attention, mainly because Drake apparently, quote unquote, mauled him in a rap battle, did some diss songs, ruined his publicity. Meek Mill got arrested, violated his probation, and screwed up doing a project. But in reality, he still has more exciting songs than a lot of what Drake does. And it's underestimated by a lot of people. Too many people of this generation, millennials, centennials, tend to think that Meek Mill was made into applesauce by Drake, and it's just not the case. Really, you look, even if he doesn't have a classic album or a song like One Dance or Hotline Bling, he still has music that is sharper. You just have to look at, okay, it's Friday, I'm with my dogs, what am I going to listen to? Am I going to listen to Hotline Bling with the boys? I don't know, it just seems, and Drake tends to do these type of songs, but it's usually with Lil Wayne that Drake winds up being the fiercest. And when he's not with them, he's just in baby making mode, and it gets old. So Meek Mill does not have that problem as much, and he definitely seems like he has a fire under his ass on the DJ Khaled albums. So third would be Ace Hood. Definitely, and I need to look up, I don't remember who the fifth person was, but yeah, third would be Ace Hood. He's been with DJ Khaled. He's his protege. He was on the DJ Khaled label for a while. You'd almost consider him one of Rick Ross's proteges also. But I do suppose that since he's been one of DJ Khaled's day ones, he deserves the recognition as well. I haven't really listened to his music that much. I might have listened to Bugatti, but I don't remember it. Lil Wayne did a remix to that song, and there was just a lot of music from 4 or 5 years ago that I completely missed the train on, but I think it still stands pretty strong today. He hasn't dropped an album since 2013, but I think he did trap music pretty well. And thing is that, obviously it's difficult to guess what his best songs are, but as long as we have outgoing production, something that sounds pretty fierce, I'd say he could probably be up there. So just look at who you're saying has the best songs on the album and then compare it, and I think Ace Hood could probably be in that list. He doesn't get enough recognition. The next is French Montana. Now, he kind of has like a sly energy to him. I haven't covered him as much, but he's kind of like a combination of Rick Ross and Meek Mill, but he just is more drug related. So he's kind of like Future somewhat. He doesn't do as much as the high octane songs, but he still knows how to handle a good trap production. Another folk I feel like who does that is Yo Gotti. I don't really recall if he's been on there that much. I've been listening to Yo Gotti recently also, but French Montana, he doesn't really have as much of a catalog with DJ Khaled, but he's still, when he's on that right song, it's like, yeah, here's another one, like Biggie says. So it was like the main thing. He's been on a pretty steady list, and then he's a mixtape rapper on top of that, so he knows the underground stuff that, is not sugar coated and pop friendly. And then finally we have Lil Wayne. Now obviously this one seems like it's kind of under review just because Lil Wayne has really dipped in popularity, but I don't really feel like that means his lyrics have dipped. I mean, he still is a lyricist. It's just the choices that he's made, it just hasn't been that well. He needs to get off Cash Money. He needs to quit bullshitting, and he needs to, find like some sort of platform to give us so it's warranted that he's a millionaire after not putting out music for so long. Apparently Jay-Z is going to help him out, but the problem with Jay-Z scooping up all these struggling rappers and putting them on Rock Nation or Tidal is just that I don't know if the Jay-Z touch is necessarily what people need. It just makes it seem as if, we want people up here when the underground mixtape stuff, would Lil Wayne ever drop another mixtape if he was on Jay-Z's label? I mean, that's just the thing, but I mean, really, so Lil Wayne, don't forget about a Lil Wayne verse. That's the main thing. I mean, if you look back to 2010, 2009, 2008, he, killed these verses, did that sort of stuff. And, obviously I think his pride is what is the biggest issue nowadays, but when he gets down to it, he can still do it. So this is an extra treat seeing on some of these. But really, I'd say, I might start doing top 5 lists more often, but this is something, I see DJ Khaled nowadays and I say, today's generation, they don't know shit about DJ Khaled. That's the whole thing. You look at someone, it's like, oh, you heard that new DJ Khaled? It's like, where were you 8, 10 years ago? That's kind of, but it's not so much like I'm trying to sun some of these people or school some of these people. It just makes me wonder, people who are just now rocking with DJ Khaled because of Snapchat. The man's been here. So, I mean, that's kind of the thing is that sort of stuff. I'm included. I definitely did not rock with him from day one or day two, but I at least paid attention. So that's the thing is just a matter of finding these next songs that show that he's in the same category as someone like Gucci Mane, Waka Flocka, Ludacris, these type people. Which if he could start getting, he has the rappers, but he just doesn't have the songs. So that's the main thing.